Alright, we're going to move on to solving multi-step equations. We've just gotten done with solving equations using addition, solving equations using multiplication, solving the combination of the two using your two-step equations, and now we've got our multi-step equations, which may require anywhere from 2 to 4 or maybe even more steps to solve. So I'm going to help you figure out the best methods and the best order to solve these equations using multiple steps. We'll start with the easiest of the multi-step equations, the combining of terms. Whenever you're solving equations, make sure both of your sides are in simplest form before you begin. As you see, we have two expressions being set equal here, and we need to make sure both of those are in simplest form. On the right side, the 6 is already in simplest form, so I'm going to leave it like that. On the left side, we can combine terms. We have a positive x and a positive 2x, giving us 3x's. And we have a positive 2 and a negative 5. Combining those will give us a negative 3. So that does count as a step when solving your equations. Going through here, understanding the order, I'm multiplying by 3 first, and then subtracting 3. So in order to solve this, I need to do this in the reverse order. Get rid of the 3 by adding 3 to both sides, giving us 3x equals 9, and then getting rid of the multiplication of 3 by dividing by 3, giving us our solution of x equals 3. Very similarly, you can do that with the bottom question there. If you'd like to practice that one, it is there for you to try. So that is going to be our goal, doing multiple steps in solving. Here's a grouping operation question that actually has two ways of solving. I'm going to show you both ways, and you can kind of decide which way is better for yourself. Either way will work. It doesn't matter which way you choose. Some problems may be easier using one of these methods, and some may be a little more complicated. So you just pick which one, and you'll figure that out as you go, which ones work best for which. Method 1, as you can see, we have 5 in parentheses, 2x minus 4 equals 20. Whenever you see a number outside of parentheses like that, outside of a sum or a difference, you may think, oh, I can distribute this number through. And that is exactly what method 1 is, the distributive method. We can distribute that through to give us 10x minus 20 equals 20. Notice the left side did not change in value. I didn't make it any bigger. I just changed the way it looks. So I don't need to multiply the other side by 5 because I just kept the left side the same. I didn't make it any bigger. I didn't make it any smaller. I just changed the way that it looks. So don't multiply that 5 to the other side as well. Once you've done that, you've got your two-step equation, and you've done those before. So I'm just going to kind of go through that really quick here. Add 20 first to both sides, giving us 10x equals 40, and then divide by 10 to both sides, reducing x will then equal 4. So notice on the left side, the answer is x equals 4. On the right side, method 2, I'm going to show you the other way of doing it using the proximity method that we have been doing to solve your two-step equations. So again, using your proximity method, x, what's happening to the x? Do it in reverse order. What's happening first is you are multiplying by 2, and inside those parentheses you are then subtracting 4, and then in total that entire thing is being multiplied by 5. Notice you have 3 steps there that you need to get rid of, and just do it again like the proximity method. Do it in the reverse order. What should you start with? Let's get rid of that 5. How do you undo a multiplication of 5? We should divide both sides by that 5 to get rid of it. When that's complete, you have 2x minus 4 equals 4. And then you just keep going along. How do you get rid of that negative 4? Again, doing this in the reverse order, we need to add 4 to both sides. Reducing, this gives us 2x equals 8, and then the last step is to get rid of that multiplication of 2 by dividing by 2. reducing x must equal 4. Notice you get the same answer. So both methods are true. They both work. Personally, I prefer the method 2. It does make the numbers a lot smaller and more manageable. You're not dealing with 40s and anything above 20. You're just dealing with single digits the entire time. And it, in the long run, can make less steps depending on what the variable is or what the coefficient is in front of the variable. If in this problem that 2 wasn't there, if it were a 1, doing method 1 would actually cause more steps for you. So just in the future, you can kind of decide which one's best for you. Some more examples here. For these, I would prefer you use method 2, the proximity method, going through and understanding what's happening to your x and then doing it in reverse. Let's do the left side and then you can do the right side on your own. So on the left side here, looking at the variable, the first thing I see that's happening to it is that it's being subtracted by 31, and then when that's done, we are dividing by 10. So doing that in reverse order, we need to get rid of that 10 first by multiplying both sides by that 10, giving us n minus 31 equals 220. Now to solve this, we need to get rid of that 31 by adding 31 to both sides, giving us the nice, neat answer of 251. So there's a quick example. Those questions are not terribly difficult. It's just understanding what order to do the steps in. If you were to add 31 first, you would not get the same answer. It would not be as nice. Again, you can do the example on the right by yourself if you want that extra practice. In this case, we have negative variable examples. So let's look at what's happening here. What's going on first with that variable x is it's being multiplied. If you look closely, that x is being multiplied by a negative 1. Look closely. How do you make any number negative? Well, you have to get its opposite by multiplying by a negative 1, or technically you could divide by a negative 1. In either case, you need to get rid of that negative 1 at some point. The next thing that's happening to that x is you are adding a positive 6 to that side. Again, doing these steps in reverse, we should get rid of the 6 by subtracting it. So subtract 6 to both sides first, giving you a negative x equals 4. Be very diligent with keeping that negative when you have not dealt with it yet. We did not deal with that negative on the x, so we need to keep it on there. Now, looking up at the beginning, you need to get rid of that negative 1 by dividing by negative 1. So if you divide both sides by negative 1, you will note we just get the opposite of 4, which is just negative 4. So there you have it. That is your lesson on solving multi-step equations. Just using the proximity method and going in reverse, making sure you have the correct steps in the correct order when you're solving. Good luck.